Hey everybody, welcome to the first official video on living the 71. Yay! I want to give a little bit of background for those of you that have never seen me before and you don't know who I am. My name is Lindsay. I live with my partner Nathan on a 49-foot trawler. We are in the middle of a Pacific crossing. We are crossing from Australia all the way over to Vancouver area, Canada. Right now, we are almost halfway across. We're in French Polynesia and specifically Bora Bora at the moment. We have a main channel on YouTube called the 71%. I get asked a ton of questions all the time on the 71%, whether it's about lifestyle, recipes, clothes, relationships, crossing the ocean, living on a boat full time. We have been learning so much and it's been so awesome having you guys all along for the ride. So I decided to start this little sub channel so that I can dig a little deeper into all of the questions that you guys have and a lot of the things that I would like to share more of that I feel like we just don't have time to do on the main channel. The first thing that I want to address is that I get my shorts on Amazon and they're cheap. They're like 20 bucks. Okay, second thing I get asked about, which is what this whole episode is about. What is the recipe for your protein balls? Nathan and I eat these little protein balls a lot. We like to have them just for day to day. Okay, please hold. The laundry is done. I'm washing the sheets. You know it's the best when you have like the night where you have fresh sheets, like that first night. I'm so excited. Anyway, I'm gonna go hang them up to dry quick. I hope it's not raining too much. All right, I have returned from laundry duties. Now, let's talk about this recipe. Let's talk about what's in here. First of all, this recipe was passed down to me from my friend Stacy. Shout out to Stacy. Thank you very much. Okay, now, these are the things that are in here. Rolled oats. This isn't the best brand, but you have to bear with me because I can only get what I can only get out here. Ingredient number 2, creamy peanut butter or any type of nut butter. I personally like almond butter the best, or like a mixture of nuts, nut butter. Next ingredient, ground flaxseed. I have this stuff. This I got in Australia. This is a mixture of flax, hemp, and chia seed. Okay, next thing, honey. I've got some Fiji honey. We got this in Fiji. Yeah, exciting. Okay, next thing, protein powder. Just use whatever protein powder you like. Vanilla extract. And what's left? Oh, mini chocolate chips. I use dark chocolate. That's it. That's all it is. So I'll give you all of the amounts listed somewhere. How should I do that? How about this? Here they are. Ding! You can screenshot this and I will list it below. Okay, with the exact amounts. You mix it all in a bowl. Let's mix. Okay, now I'm gonna actually double this recipe because we eat these a lot and you can freeze them. So it calls for 1.5 cups of rolled oats and I'm gonna do 3 cups. These rolled oats are what I had left over from Australia and they're gluten-free rolled oats. They're really good. The other ones I got are just kind of like, I don't know, your basic instant rolled oats. So there's just gonna be a mixture in here and that's okay because you just get what you get, okay? Can't get too picky out here. I learned that the hard way many times over. So the next thing is the peanut butter. It calls for 1 cup of peanut butter. Again, I am going to double this because we go through these bad boys like nobody's business. So I'm gonna do 2 cups of peanut butter. Also, again, if you like almond butter, which I do, and I would be using it if I had it, but I don't, go ahead and use any type of nut butter that you like. If you are allergic to nuts, this recipe does not work for you, and I'm sorry about that. That would be really hard. Okay, now you've got your oats, you've got your nut butter of whatever kind. Next thing is ground flaxseed. In my case, it is flax hemp chia seed. Now, the recipe calls for a 1/4 cup. I'm doubling, so I'm gonna do a 1/2 cup straight into the old bucket here. Bucket. Well, this might use the rest of this bag, actually. Oh, I've got a little bit left. Okay. Pour that in there. It's got some nice nutrients in there for you. Okay. I like to put things away as I finish using them, so my space stays nice and clean as I go. Okay, next, honey. The recipe calls for 1/4 cup. We're gonna do a 1/2 cup because we're awesome. Okay, just gonna open this up. This is a freshie. So 1/2 cup of this guy. This might take a second. Patience, please. Come on. Oh yeah. Okay, now, this is important. The honey, I like to add a little extra protein powder than what the recipe calls for, because you can kind of do whatever you want, okay? That's what you guys need to remember. This, you can do whatever you want. This is all just a suggestion. That's what all recipes are to me. That's why I'm not very good at baking. Since I like to use a little extra protein powder, I've noticed that it makes it sometimes a little too hard to stick together, like it kind of crumbles apart a little easier. So you might end up adding a little extra honey. I have done that in the past. We'll see if I do it this time. You just kind of get in there and then you see, like, are the balls sticking together or they're not? And then you can add a little bit more honey and things come together. Okay, so we'll just see what happens. So we'll leave the honey out because he might get used again. There we go. All right, we've reached protein powder time. I busted out my good stuff because I didn't have enough of the other stuff. So this is the kind that I really like. It is Designs for Health. Can you see it? Designs for Health bone broth protein. Not sponsored by them. I wish I was. If you guys can hear me, love your stuff. I use their supplements too. They're really good. They got recommended to me from my health coach, Amber, who is also awesome. So it calls for, let me see here, 2 scoops, 1/4 cup. Now, since we're doubling this already, my 1/2 cup is full honey. So I'm gonna use my 1/4 cup. Okay, so we're gonna at least do 2 of these, right? So we'll fill this guy up. This protein powder is actually a little bit stickier too than the other ones. You'll notice it's really good in your coffee, but you gotta mix it with a little mixer guy. It gets really frothy. Okay, so here's 1/4. Now let's do another one because we're doubling the recipe. Okay, because it calls for 1/4 cup. So this is our double. We'll just give her a little bit of a heap. So that's double. Now, I like to just go a little extra because this is the part that's really good for you, that keeps you satiated. Well, everything in here does, which is great. So I'm gonna do just almost another 1/4, and then we'll see what happens, okay? 1 teaspoon of vanilla, which I don't know about you guys, but tablespoon and teaspoon really throw me for a loop. TSP. Is that what it is? Wait, 1 teaspoon, 1 teaspoon, 1 TSP, not TBSP. Careful. Okay, so we're gonna do 2 of those because we're doubling this. I might do a little extra too because I'm crazy and I like vanilla. We'll see. Okay, 1, 2, and just a little extra, just a little dash. I've got good vanilla because vanilla is actually made on these islands where we were at in Fiji, and then now in French Polynesia. There's a lot of vanilla made here, which is really cool. Fun stuff you learn when you're out here. Okay, so we got vanilla. Now 6 tablespoons of mini chocolate chips. I don't usually measure this. I just kind of dump some in there. So, you know, because I mean, it's 6 tablespoons. Wait, yeah, 6 tablespoons. That's a lot. This is a tablespoon. So like 6 of these plus 6 more because we're doubling this. That seems like kind of a lot to me, but maybe it's not. I don't know. I just kind of dumped some in there. Eyeball. Okay. Oh, and then a pinch of sea salt. That's the last thing. I don't have a salt shaker, but I have this giant refill. Anyway, okay. This I forgot to do last time and I was kind of bummed. So pinch of sea salt. I'm going to do 2 pinches of sea salt since we're doubling up. Okay? I think that adds a little. Maybe I'll do just a little extra. Just a little extra. I like salt. Okay. There we go. Now we mix this up. Okay? All right. Now as you're mixing this up, you can kind of start to see if it seems a little dry or not, because there'll be stuff like hanging out at the bottom, like flaxseed or protein powder or oats and stuff like that. So you kind of just try to break up the peanut butter or the nut butter as best you can to kind of grab that stuff. And if it seems too dry, that's when I add some honey. You could also add some more nut butter. Just think things that are sticky to kind of counteract it. That's why these recipes are just suggestions, see? But I also kind of fudge it and start adding a little extra of stuff that I like, so then it changes things, which is how I get myself into these situations. So I don't know if any of you should be taking any advice from me on cooking. Maybe you should, I don't know. Anyway, it's looking pretty good. I think I might need a little dash of honey. You can really start to tell once you get in here with your hands and you start making the balls. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little honey. I'm seeing a little bit of dryness, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do a little squirt-a-rooski. And you can just start with a little bit and add as needed. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we have reached ball making mode. Now, you're going to want a container. I use these these are like collapsible containers, which are nice for the boat. Pro tip. They're like silicone too. Sucks that the tops are still plastic, but sometimes it's hard to avoid plastic. I try to as much as I can. But anyway, yeah, these collapse. I put some parchment paper on the inside, and then I'll do a layer in here, and then I'll do a layer on top. I'll put another piece of parchment paper on top, and then layer that. I actually should get some fresh parchment paper. It's from last time. We're not animals here. We can change that out, okay? Okay, now this is where things can get a little messy. Really just your hands. Get in here and you just start, you grab a little bit. Try to get the stuff from the bottom, because you want all that to stick in there too. And then you just start making balls. And you are the decider of the size of your own balls. That's right. What a revelation. Okay. We're all adults here. Hopefully, grab a little bit. I just grab a handful. And then you start squeezing. And you just round it out. See, this is sticking pretty good. I feel like I got a good mixture. So you can pick up some of the dry stuff from the bottom there. Make sure you don't leave anybody hanging. Now this is a little on the bigger side for me, so I'll probably take some of that out. So that's it, okay? Make yourself, this is a pretty good one. Nice little ball, okay? Now you put your ball in your container, and then I just stack them in here. Okay? Simple. Simple stuff. Don't you love it? Don't you love it when things are simple? Okay, next ball incoming. Nathan's muttering stuff from the pilot house right now. He might be talking to me, I'm not sure. Ball number 2, right? See? Pretty good ball. Stack them in. Okay, first row or first level is done. See? Okay, that's done. So now I'm gonna put my parchment paper on top of that and start my second row. Okay, there we go. So I've got my second row done, and it has filled this container. So I've got 2 rows in here. You guys can kind of see how big it is and how big they are. So that is full, and I have a little bit extra. Okay, so I'm just going to get a small container to make the rest of this for these ones and put this one in the fridge. So you can either freeze these or you can put them in the fridge. It seems to me like about a week in the fridge, they stay really good. After that, they still stay good, but they get a little drier. So I just put them all in the fridge. I haven't frozen any personally because we just eat them so often. But if you wanted to make a whole bunch and put them in the freezer, that would be pretty smart. Babe, you want to make a guest appearance in here?
No.
What? Okay, no guest appearance. We're done, everybody. So with double the recipe, this is how much you get. You got 2 rows in here, and then you've got just a few extras in here. They kind of look like meatballs, but they're not. Yeah, so then you stick them in the fridge and you're good to go. That's it. That's the protein balls.